They trust us. They want to journey with us. They want to make a difference. They want to see Cambodians living free and healing and restoration. And they're willing to be a part of that journey, a part of that story.
Welcome to The Connected Good, a podcast about what becomes possible when people meet in hope. Every episode, we sit down with different changemakers, advocates, and everyday people who are pursuing justice and amplifying hope. We believe that real change often starts in the quiet, courageous ways that people choose to connect. Through conversation, compassion, and shared purpose. We are so glad that you're here. Join us as we explore the good that we can create together. So welcome everyone to our another podcast episode with our team here at Ratanak International. I'm really excited for the conversation today and to hear some of the sharing everyone has to talk about the year we got to enjoy and be a part of, seeing how God is working in Cambodia in 2025. But before we dive into everything, I'd love to introduce you to some of the team, or have them introduce themselves, I should say. Why don't we go around? So Ray, I have you next on my screen. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, so my name is Ray Lamont. I am the Executive Director of Ratanak International. I am working out of our Canadian office here in Vancouver. And as the Executive Director, I just have the honor and the privilege to lead this Ratanak team, and which means I get to communicate and interact and strategize and plan and discuss so many different things, not only with our office in Vancouver, but also with our office in Cambodia. And so I love that because we have an incredible team as a whole organization.
What a good segue to our two Cambodian team members joining us on this podcast episode, Tani and Chani. Tani, would you like to introduce yourself next?
Thank you, Joanne. My name is Tani. I'm a country director for Ratanak International in Cambodia. I'm very excited. I've been in this role for almost 2 years. January next year is my second year anniversary. So I'm very excited. I love vision and mission and value of Ratanak. This is what God calling me to be, and I see the amazing team. The work of Ratanak is doing that impact to the life of Cambodian people. As a Cambodian, I'm so proud to be a part of this mission, to have my own people. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Good morning from Cambodia as well. My name is Chani. I'm the National Technical Support Manager. So I feel really glad to join Ratanak's teams. And my main role is to provide strategic and operational leaderships to strengthen the national frameworks that combat with human trafficking. And I also lead the small team in collaboration with the government counterparts and key stakeholders to develop and to advocate for the survivor center policy, enhance coordinations and improve protections and reintegrations outcome for survivors across Cambodia. Thank you.
That's a big role. There's a lot. And last but not least,
I'm Brian McConaughey. I'm the founding director of Ratanak International. And just before we came on, Joanne was saying about, think of something that's favorite. And after 36 years, I'm now on 36 years of this, it's hard to come up with a favorite, but it really boils down to, for me, I love talking about Cambodia. I love telling people about Cambodia. I love introducing people who don't know anything about Cambodia to this new wonderful place that is Cambodia. And after 36 years, I haven't run out of things to talk about yet. So it's all good.
Indeed it is. I suppose I should also introduce myself. My name is Joanne, and I'm the Development and Communications Director at Ratanak International. One of my favorite parts of my role is getting to meet and talk with a lot of people in our community, whether it be donors, supporters, and hear about how they heard about Ratanak and the way that they are, you all are who are listening, passionate about the work that is happening in Cambodia. You're passionate about preventing exploitation and stopping human trafficking. It's when I hear that, it fuels me to go on for days and days. It fills me with joy to know that we're there's all this people, there's a whole community rallying around Cambodia and around this work. So it's exciting. It is good, like Brian has said. So what a segue to talking about the good things, the awesome things of 2025. It was our 35th anniversary, which is, that's quite a long time. That's a full-grown adult, and then some. And we celebrated, a really busy and full year. We launched several projects, procedures across Cambodia to set up better, safer, and better protection for those survivors of trafficking. There's a lot there. Could you all share one thing that brought you joy, that you saw God working through in 2025?
So I guess that's me going first.
Yes, that is.
I feel bad because Tani really wanted to go first, and I feel like I'm stealing his position right now.
No, please.
No, Ray, you go first. You go first. So 2025, I mean, what a year. It's when thinking about what was my highlight, thinking about it from as an organization in Cambodia and here in Vancouver, I had to sit with that for a little while because there's so many amazing things. I feel like we could do many podcasts about 2025. But the one I landed on, the one that I'm going to talk about, is shortly after I began my role as the executive director, probably about a month after I started, I got to attend our Emerald Gala. And this was kind of the first big event for me to attend. It was at the Burnaby Golf Course. So it was in this lovely venue. Just very beautifully decorated. The program was amazing. And I think what was fun for me was that this Emerald Gala, first of all, is our 35th anniversary celebration. So there was like a lot of history there. There was a lot of celebration about our roots, our journey, our growth as an organization, and just celebrating that in the Ratanak community. But I think the other thing that I really, really loved about it was how I got to begin to meet our donors, the people in our Ratanak community who are so passionate about the work that we do, who want to journey alongside us, who not only give financially, but also give of their time, give through prayer, give through presence, give through sharing about the work that we do with their friends and their family and their colleagues. And it just really impressed me to be in that space, to talking with donors, to understand, how they got connected with us, why they're so passionate about us. So many amazing conversations that night. And the reason why it was so, so deeply impactful for me is it just reinforces that we have this community of donors that have been with us for a long time. And again, like I said already, they love us. They love the work. They trust us. They want to journey with us. They want to make a difference. They want to see Cambodians living free and healing and restoration. And they're willing to be a part of that journey, a part of that story. We do so much amazing work front lines through our Cambodian office. And, we're going to talk more about that, as other stories are sharing. But what happens here in this office and the work that we're able to do with donors in the community here is also a big part of that story. It's a big part of the work that is happening. And I'm so thankful for every one of those people who are journeying with us, who support us, who champion us, who cheer us on, who are part of what we are doing. So that's my highlight.
I remember that. It was also one of my first events, meeting a lot of our community, and this happens every time I attend a Ratanak event. It blows my mind how every time it feels like a family reunion. Like it's not just us greeting the people that come through the doors. They're greeting each other, and they know each other, and they're like, they're checking in. And some of them, I remember at the gala, were telling me that they've been supporting Ratanak for years and years, and that they would happily share stories with me, and they could help, help me get my sea legs. And it was just such I am also really thankful and can see how deeply the people here care. So it's cool.
It was cool. And the video that we showed, our 35th anniversary video, kind of documenting our story, our history, how we got to where we are today. And there's everybody in the room, it was just silent. You could hear a pin drop because everybody was just so engaged with that video. And then at the end, there was a series of our Cambodian staff. And I can't remember what they said, something like,
Together for Freedom.
Yes, Together for Freedom. Yeah. And then Tani, you were in that Together for Freedom.
Yeah.
Oh, that just gave chills. The tears were in the corners of my eyes. But everybody was just it was just so, so beautiful. So even though our Cambodian office couldn't be there, our Cambodian office was there. And it was utterly magical.
It was a good night. I'm looking forward to our next one, which will be in, several months' time. But yeah.
On May 23rd, 2026. Just putting that out there into the universe.
Everyone mark your calendars.
Mark your calendars.
That's a good segue. So Tani, what about you? What was you were represented at the gala with your Together for Freedom in the video. What was your 2025 highlight?
Yeah, thank you, Joanne. As you said, the one highlight is very difficult. Like Ray said, if you use many more broadcasting to talk about 2025, it's not enough because there's so much happening. And I really thank God for that. One of the things that I would like to thank God is Jesus in the boat, despite of so many challenging, but we can see many achievements that have been made, during this 2025. One of the things, when we look back into our mission, we are catalysts for transformation and also, influence the system that exploit it. I see Ratna has been making so much remarkable achievement during 2025. But I would like to thank, donor, supporter that is give us all the donation money so that all those achievements can be accomplished and be beneficial to our survivor. So, thank you everybody that joining in. And from a part of that, I see how God is really working through the influence of the policy making. We launching aircraft policy, aircraft procedure, and then we also come up with the TOT training on management procedure. So training of trainer. So we train so many officials so that they can go and, use a very standard response into survival life. And then there's several conduct cascade training also happening during this year. So working with the government is one part that Rana has been influenced to the system. And also a part of it that I love to see every day, and I see the smile of our team, even though, there's been working hard across the country, 25 provinces that scatter up our survivor. They were working tirelessly, every day I hear from their testimony, I hear the impact they made in the life client. So it's give me strength, give me energy, and give me courage to really supporting them, from the office here in Cambodia so that they can work and support the client so well. So I see this, especially during, the mid of July, the end of July, that the tension between Thailand and Cambodia, even though sometimes our frontline staff taking risks to really respond to our survivor in those affected areas. But we still see, how we care, how we love the survivor, and how we respond on time with the affected. So I see the team is really working so hard that I see God is really working to give hope freedom and, love to those survivors through our staff team, from the senior management team to management team to frontline staff. We are all working in one team, that I can see the spirit of teamwork and spirit of, love and care toward our survivor. There's so many more things that are happening in Cambodia office and with our staff and survivor that I cannot mention all here. Thank you very much.
I have one. While you were sharing that, I was reminded of another highlight that I'm going to embarrass Tani a little bit, but Tani and Rashana, our transitional care manager this year, celebrated or completed their Masters of Arts in Christian Leadership, which was your third Masters, Tani, if I'm recalling correctly. Right?
Yeah, that's
You're
right.
like collecting them or something.
What a smarty pants.
I know. That was such I'm sure you're shy to talk about it, but as a team, I was so secondhand proud and happy that how incredible that you put in that time and effort and dedication to do that while taking care of our team and care.
One more thing that I would like to mention here, as you talk about transitional home, that I forgot to mention, is like we exiting, achievement of our survivor. Actually, we plan to accept only 70 clients this year, but we exited to over 80. I think this is with, the funding support from our donor, that we can provide more services to the client. Ratanak can do more, because of some part of it that we have limited resource, and also we planning that. So even though, we try to do more, to receive client. If Ratanak have more capacity of ability of funding sources, then I think we can receive more survivors still out there, needed our help. But the capacity that we can accommodate, but exceeding our capacity because it's flooded of cash referral from the Ministry of Social Affairs in 2025. So our limited capacities can accept only 83 this year, but overachieve of our plan, more than 10 survivor this year. Thank you.
Yeah, if I can just speak to that too, I as I hear you talk about that, Tani, I think back over 35 years, given that 2025 was our 35th year. We started off 35 years ago not being sure at all we would be given visas to even be allowed to enter Cambodia. And the government was not very happy with foreigners, particularly Western foreigners, that we were on the wrong side of the geopolitics on that, unfortunately. And so the transformation over 35 years to now, the government is asking us for more and more assistance in terms of, can you do this project? Can you develop this policy? Can you help more clients? That's remarkable. And that's the stuff we were praying for 30 years ago and weren't seeing much results, but we just kept going and kept going and kept going. And the Lord has opened up doors in tremendous ways. And you are now reaping the results of all those prayers in years past. So it's very exciting to see.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And I think the other thing to mention, because you did mention our aircraft repatriation policy, but we've also been asked by the government this year to begin putting together policy and guidelines for repatriation now by the crossing of land borders. And so that's another amazing opportunity that we have this year, and that we're actively working in. And so like Brian is saying, God answers prayer, God opens doors, God has a plan, and he allows us to be part of that. And that is so amazing.
And sometimes the prayers are answered slowly.
Like 35 years later.
Character building.
It happens.
Yeah.
But this year we achieved so much, even though SOP, standard operating procedure, that Ministry of Social Affairs have a very clear strategy how to respond to the survivor, that I'm so excited that more than overachieve, that if it's looking into that, like Ray mentioned, because now land border policies in place in good engagement and supporting from the government, especially from the Victim Protection Department. They are very keen and very excited. I think our team now come into a final TOR and get a feedback and review from them and ready to go. And I think this is another remarkable, supporting an achievement that Ratanak have. And Ratanak name is always, be mentioned, and then some other NGO sometimes jealous of why government always mention Ratanak all the time, especially when we install our survivor interview room, and very professional, that is funded by Ratanak. And then they feel proud of that. Other NGO also feel jealous of Ratanak, why Ratanak installing such a nice place, because this is really, respect the privacy, confidentiality of the survivor, that a step ahead to rebuilding the service quality, service delivery to survivors, starting from, not just a partner NGO, but also government. They have us positive moving forward on that part also. That I see a transformation and change happening in Cambodia. That thank God so much for this. And like Brian mentioned, and you've been praying for a long, long year. And I see slowly the Cambodia moving, changing forward, because they're gonna plan for, I think, social works license also, because to create a standard. So those who provide social service have to be very standard to our survivor. That they're moving to form a committee. They gonna, also do evaluation and assessment to provide a license for those social workers in the near future. That I see how Cambodia is really give more attention and care onto the survivor well-being and, their life.
Yeah, policies and...
Actually, I just would love to emphasize a bit on what Martin has just mentioned about the land border procedure. Brian, you also mentioned about this. And yesterday, VPD provided us a few feedback, and I think it should be fine. And you know why? Because we want to buy in them from the beginning of the process. I mean, from the beginning, during, and ending. So finally, they feel the owner of that SOP. It is not about NGO, it is not about Ratanak or whatever, but they themselves know that this is the intellectual property. They should be able to promote it, expand, strengthen the capacity for everyone so that they could follow this SOP. Yeah. Thank you.
And just for our viewers, VPD means what, Chani?
VPD, Victim Protection Department. Sorry.
No,
all good. Just that it means for local Vancouverites, it's Vancouver Police Department. Very different.
Okay. It's not that.
Hanging around,
it's not them.
Hanging around Ratanak, you find that we're in competition with the United Nations to develop as many acronyms as we possibly can.
What does SOP mean?
Standard operating procedure.
Perfect.
Oh my goodness.
And VPD is Victim Protection Department.
Yeah.
It's good though.
Anyway,
I think it is really exciting. It's ordinarily it's hard to get excited about admin work and policies and procedures, and it can sound dry. But knowing the implications that it's not a single person, individual, or 10 people, it is a whole country and generations that will be able to benefit from the impact of these policies and systems being in place, of all this training. It is cool stuff. So all of that leading to Chani, which our national technical manager, would you like to share with us how kind of some of these exciting things on a bigger picture? What were your highlights this year?
Thank you. Actually, Martin has said a lot already about the key achievement that the team have worked together. Put on all the energy and effort to make it happen. From the National Technical Support team, we have achieved so many as well. But one thing that we have just met is that we were able to collaborate with the Victim Protection Department of Ministry of Social Affairs to strengthen the capacity of the subnational governments officials and the local NGO partners to effectively implementing the national directive on reintegrations and follow-up of victims of human trafficking and sexual abuse. So, Directive 011. So, so far there were about more than 90 subnational government officials were trained on this Directive 011, and they are coming from different provinces as well, such as Kandal province, Aceh province, and Kampot province. So this is the one key highlight I would love to share with all of you. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
But to explain the listener that what is Directive 011 is a case management procedure. So the way to respond to provide services to a survivor. So this is a standardized how different stakeholders engage in providing a standard service to survivor after restoration, reintegration.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Thank you. Thank you so much for compliment on this. Thank you.
I feel like I need to compile a whole workbook for our listeners and give them homework and a pop quiz. I need to do it too. There's a lot.
Yeah, there is a lot. I think it's amazing that you said you had over 90 participants from the government, right?
Yes, from the governments.
That is absolutely incredible because it shows again that depth and width of influence that we are able to have on a national level in Cambodia. And it's not just something like systems and structures that are being looked at or renewed or rebuilt or changed that will have an impact right now. And it will have an impact right now.
Yes,
but this is going to impact for generations to come.
Yes.
And that is absolutely incredible.
If I can just say too, with regard to that, it's one thing to talk about all the work we're doing, but Chani and Tani sitting here representing the rest of the Cambodian team, they have earned massive amount of trust from the Cambodian government by doing good work. That doesn't come naturally. It doesn't come easily. It's long, hard work. And the Cambodian team have earned that by doing superb work for years. And so that excites me in terms of what you're doing, not only what you're doing, but how you're doing it. And hats off to the government that they have stepped out for years now and said, okay, we choose to trust you. That's always a choice.
Yeah.
And the government have chosen to do that, and you've been worthy of that. So thank you from me, from us, from donors who want to see the money spent well, and you guys are leveraging that incredibly in Cambodia. It's a wonderful thing to watch and still excites me. Hard to believe that policy excites me after years of working in the RCMP and seeing, to be apologies to the RCMP, but meaningless policy. Policy in this area of work is so exciting because it translates directly into lives.
Yeah.
So it's really exciting. So thank you guys, and thank you the whole team for doing it.
Yeah, adding into that, thank you, Brian, and thank you, Ray, for that appreciation. Adding into aircraft launch, we just official launch, we print in the book, but we don't just want to put the book in, a shelter that is just policy, but they asking us to really develop a training of trainer manual next year to really provide aircraft procedure policy so that all stakeholders can understand how to really use the procedure very well and benefit to the survivor as well. And then beside that, I think they also asking us to really helping them, because we just hand over also a care management database system so that government gonna have a very strong system to monitor the survivor and the service delivery that have been given to them, become a national pride, because this is not just like Ratanak that been given to the government, but government feel proud that now they have their own system to track and to provide service to the survivor. Ratnak have been given that as well. And then we gonna support them along the way, both technical support, to provide, and we just recently provide that to the officer, but not sure how many Bongchani can add into that. It's just a formal orientation and training to the officer also, beside the training of standard operating procedure. So this is, I see the collaboration and the trust that government have with Ratnak.
Yeah.
And that, like Brian mentioned, is really thanks you so much to donor, to supporter, and also to the Canadian team that working tirelessly to support this process. Without you, we cannot make this far, and then government have all those tools to be responsive to the Cambodian people that been affected, that victimized by trafficking. Thank you.
Just to add on what Bongchani has mentioned, actually, so far there were about 22 officials coming from different departments as well as transit center being trained on this system. So somehow I believe they will continue their commitment to use and to document, to record all the case through this system. Yeah.
So if I can just jump in there too. Imagine those of you who are watching and listening to this in Canada, imagine a small organization like Ratanak being able to influence federal policy, provincial policy, national policies from our governments, laws, regulations. We wouldn't have a chance of doing this in a North American context. So why is it even happening in Cambodia? Unlike Canada, where if you want to develop a new policy, you're actually modifying a policy. There's always policies already there. In a Cambodian context, we're building policies that simply aren't there. We're starting from scratch after so many years of trauma for the Cambodian nation. We are in this incredibly privileged position to build the structures to keep Cambodians safe. And that never ceases to amaze me, that the privilege it is. And so for you who are supporters and donors watching, to echo what Tani has said, thank you for that, because you are allowing transformation of national systems that really is beyond what I can still take in. It's very, very exciting to me.
That's a good transition, I suppose, for you, Brian, to share with us your highlight for 2025. I mean, there were a lot of moments. I'm sure you've traveled to Cambodia twice this year. So what was your moment that you'd like to share?
My moment, while there are many things that we've been talking about, I don't know how long we've been talking up to now, but we've talked mostly about policy. Isn't that incredible that we can talk that long about policy and it be interesting? Anyway, right? it's fascinating to me. But my favorite memory of 2025, obviously there's many of them because it was our anniversary, and we went up north to film portions of the 35th anniversary video, and that was really exciting for me because I was going into areas I hadn't been 30 years, up on the Thai-Cambodian border, where I have memories, not all pleasant memories, during the Civil War and when things were really bad and Cambodians were suffering in a visible way that was quite profound to witness, and obviously changed my life completely. But within that overall large, wonderful experience for me down memory lane was one event. Joanne and Tani, you were both there for this. We were driving through Battambang, a city in the northwest, and I mentioned that there was an old coffee house we used to visit in between bouts of fighting. We would go out to trying to do public health. We were out in the villages and whatnot, trying to avoid the Khmer Rouge, trying to avoid the fighting, basically trying not to get shelled or shot. It was difficult work. And as we're driving through the city, we drive right past this coffee shop. And this was a coffee shop run by a guy called Mr. Chu. And each morning he would make us the world's strongest coffee. Like you could go a week on this coffee without sleep. Like it is serious coffee. And he would make us our coffee. It was beautiful stuff. And then he would send us on our way each day in the trucks going out into the villages. And we could hear the thunder of the shells falling. Like this was very, very stressful stuff to do. and it was wonderful, fond memories because Mr. Chu's was kind of a sanctuary for us. And so here we are driving through, last year, and we're driving through, and there's Mr. Chu's coffee house. So we get out of the van, and I said, "Well, my goodness, I can't believe I'm here. I'm sure Mr. Chu's gone, but let's just see if," because I know some of his daughters helped run the building or business. They were little at the time, and I walk in and say to this one woman that I didn't recognize. I used to come here, Mr. Chu, and she said, yeah, Mr. Chu, he's in the back. And I just about fell over, and I grabbed Tanny because I needed a translator. And sure enough, they brought Mr. Chu out, and it was like stepping back in time. All these years later, all that trauma and suffering that Cambodia had experienced and that he had experienced. And here he was, now a man of Christian faith who helps poor people in that city, who runs a viable business. And we would laugh and we would talk, and all those sort of bad memories faded, and we see God's ability to transform and change over time beyond our wildest dreams. So that is easily my most favorite memory of the year, primarily because of just emotional reasons and the joy it brought me. But it also teaches us that Ratanak can have long-term impact. There is long-term impact if we're prepared to stick it out and go through sometimes some difficult phases, but just keep going. And that individual lives can be transformed. Also, a nation can be transformed, and this is all about weathering the storm. And if Ratanak has proved anything over 35, moving into our 36th year, it's that we can weather the storm, and we can keep going, and we can see that transformation. So that's easily I didn't have to think about it. Like Mr. Chu and seeing him again was just absolutely wonderful for me.
Every time you bring up Mr. Chu and that story, you light up like a little kid. And I mean, it is a powerful reminder for all of us when we hear, and there's pictures in our 35th anniversary newsletter, and I'll attach it somewhere to this episode that people can watch or read. But it's quite a story testifying to just the power of patience and prayer, and just like we were saying earlier, the community of Ratanak was praying for 30 some odd years for change, for transformation. And Mr. Chu and that story, you can see it in that already of look, the change, the difference that can happen if we just trust that Jesus will do his thing. And so yeah.
I've also heard from Cambodian staff many times, and Chani and Tani, you can vouch for this. Over and over again, I see the Cambodian staff making a choice, and that is a choice to love. If we choose to love, incredible things can happen. Sometimes we choose to love against the odds under difficult circumstances. And that, I think, really is the history of Ratanak, where we have chosen to love this nation and love this people. And God has honored that. And so my longing and hope is that Ratanak will continue for another 35 years of loving the Cambodian people. Best done by Cambodians themselves, that you guys do on the front lines.
You know what?
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
You know what? One thing that I would love to share with all of you is that during the conflicts, the fighting at the border of Cambodian and Thai, and our case worker, case manager keep asking the leadership to go and visit to visit the client, while we continue encouraging them to also need to consider about their own safety as well. So there were a lot of things to discuss and to decide before we decided, to allow them to go or no go, or to use different ways, but still to reach out, still to communicate, or still to show our care and support to the client or our survivor who lives along the border as well.
Yeah, I just want to add what Brian's story with Mr. Chu. It's kind of like remind me about our staff team as well, with the survivor. even though sometimes they exit from our program already, the case is closing. But when they visit the same location, they come and hug. Oh, it's you again. Thank you so much for remind me, about our time together. Thank you. Without you, I cannot be here today. I cannot see the value of life and that. And I remind me that the culture of Cambodian people, and when I was child, my grandparent, treasure friendship and relationship with this Cambodian culture. And I think that in Mr. Chuai and then Brian to see, it's good time together that remind difficult time and calling. And I think remind all of us that when we have someone to transform and when they see hope and love, they're gonna see, the story that we walk in the journey together, that treasure. Thank you so much that you're coming into my life, that make a difference in my life, something like that. So there's many story that our staff share, and then sometimes, bring tear to our eyes when their story is touching like that. I never see value. I don't think that in this world someone love me, but when I come to Ratna and I see you direct care team, see you care manager or therapist team, they feel love and restore of their dignity and hope. That remind me of that moment when in the tragedy time, and then you come back in a peace, and then see, how you look like, how many children you have now. A lot of conversation going on. Thank you.
I think that is an encouragement to all those that are listening or watching and this episode, that thank you for being a part of Ratanak's story. Even if it is your first time hearing about our work, hearing about the organization and things like that, you simply listening, and you are a part of this now. And if I can encourage those that are listening to not take for granted the little things. You never know a conversation that you might have, the ripple effect, the coffee that you brew, and the conversation, who knows in 35 years time what that could lead to. So thank you again all for sharing your stories and little moments with us today. There's tons more to share, but we'll leave that for next episode. And stay tuned for more things that are exciting in 2026 that we know God is doing and moving in Cambodia and in Ratanak.
Thanks.
Okay, until next time.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.